We'll begin in just a few minutes. So if you'd like to settle in, check your God phone, make sure the ringer is off. And we will continue while we check the mic for today, day. Are we good? Diwali. Good morning. My name is John Haas, and it's my pleasure to bring this morning's meditation. You may have been watching that the moon was new this week, as many millions of people around the globe celebrated Diwali, the celebration of light, always done when it's the darkest. And last night, the crescent moon, just below Venus, heralded the ecliptic across the sky. And today, we welcome the full sun, the beautiful day here in Prescott. If you haven't already done so, just allow that seat to hold you. Notice your favorite position. And without rushing, just check in. Check in with your body. Allow your natural inhale to fill your lungs, spreading oxygen into every cell and sinew. You can imagine that energy flowing in, renewing, refreshing. And as you exhale, just letting go. Letting go of all that no longer serves you in this moment. Our breath, as it moves in and out, is a perfect reminder of the ebb and flow of life. Every day is an opportunity to listen again. Listen again to what your mind is playing. Listen again to the still. Listen again to the noises of the world around you. And you're a part of it. We can enjoy every moment if we get out of the way of those old beliefs. My life did not change last night, though my view of it did shift. My life didn't change last night, but my view of it did shift. Like storm clouds that recede when a fresh wind blows in, this day's new light holds hope. And that's how I choose to see it. Each moment holds the answer. Am I ready to hear? Now, as we move into silence, how are you viewing the world? How are you viewing your world? Are you ready to join it in this dance? Every moment is a new opportunity. Every moment is a new opportunity to find that place inside. Whatever happens in the outer world, the people you meet, the circumstances, we get to choose how we view it. What if we view it as a new and exciting opportunity? How would that change the world around you? Listen. Listen for the call of the world to bring you totally alive. When you wake up, the world around you wakes up. Namaste.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you, John Haas, for that beautiful pre-service meditation. My name is Kira Molitor, and I'm part of the leadership here, and we welcome you. Welcome to those in the sanctuary and those of you online. We have a number of volunteer opportunities. We really need tech volunteers. No experience is necessary. Training is provided. See Clay Smith. We also have an opening for the Sunday Service Coordinator. This was Albin's job, and we are looking for somebody to step into his very big shoes. We are looking for volunteers to do the offering count after service and for help in the bookstore. See Sudra. We are also looking to form a marketing and fundraising committee. Now we have an announcement from Nikki Shields.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, I just got the butterflies standing up here. It's very exciting. I haven't done this in a long time, so it feels great to be here today with you all. Again, my name is Nikki Shields. I am from Phoenix, and I've had the pleasure of living in Prescott now for 3 years with my son. And it's a great town. It's a great community. And goodness, I've been a sound healer now for 15 years. Oh my gosh, it's crazy how quickly time goes by. I've had the pleasure of learning sound therapy, also known as sound meditation, gong bath, you might have heard, from 3 master teachers. And I've had the pleasure of playing myself just individually for about 5 or 6 years. I learned from them for 9. So I went through trainings, workshops. I play gongs, singing bowls, different chimes, ocean drum, rain stick. It's such a blessing to be able to have come into this work. I truly love what I do, and I've been able to play in the town of Prescott for many years, and at different high schools and colleges and the park now for like 2 years. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be here next weekend, Sunday, the 14th at 1:30. And so I believe I'll be here on the stage, and I hope that you'll consider joining us. It's going to be quite an experience. Sound therapy, sound meditation works with the brainwave states. So it helps to get you into that instant alpha brainwave state to where you can truly relax and just be in the moment. What I tell people is we have like so many different aspects of us going out all the time, right? Family, friends, careers, so on and so forth. And so when you receive a sound meditation, it allows you to go within, to go essentially back home is what I call it, and to be in the very present moment. Because really, honestly, that's all we have. So it's a beautiful experience. You have your eyes closed, or you could watch me, whatever. There's no right or wrong way to receive. And just know that when you set an intention, which I will ask you to do at the beginning, anything is possible. So whether if it's having more energy, wanting to run a marathon, wanting to have the best night's sleep, you will receive it. So again, I hope that you'll join us next Sunday at 1:30. And again, my name is Nikki Shields. If you have any questions at all, there's a way to contact me. And until then, just have a wonderful day, and I'll look forward to seeing you all then. Bless your hearts. Thank you again.
Join with me. Recognize and know that as we invoke Spirit, Spirit's already here. There is no place, no time, no space where Spirit or God, the Buddha nature, does not reside. So it's right here. It's right with us in our seats. It's right with you wherever you are, whenever you are. And so we know that that power that presence, it shows up in each of us. It shows up in the birds and the trees, the sky and the earth, the stars, the galaxies and beyond. All this is God. All this is good. And as I observe and you listen, we know that we are a part of that one because there is nothing outside of it. And so I know, and I exclaim and proclaim that this service is already good in the mind of God. And I know that each of us is divinely appointed to be here, to hear the beautiful music of Jackson as he hosts us and is also the guest musician. We know that Mel Hirsch's words are going to resonate, and a piece of that will be taken by each one of us as we listen. So I thank everyone who's a part of this. And I just let these words resonate into the power of love and law. And together we affirm it and anchor it by saying, and so it is.
I think it was Kira mentioned Albin. And this is one of Albin's favorite songs. This was always one of his requests. So if you all will join me in standing. Well, I'm not going to stand. I didn't go to Jerry Lee Lewis school. But if you stand, clap your hands, and sing this one so Alvin can hear it all the way down the street. Goes like this. I don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is alright. I said I don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is alright. Well, I rise up this morning, I smile at the rising sun, the three little birds beside my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true. This is my message to you. I don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is alright. I said I don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is alright. Well, I rise up this morning, I smile at the rising sun, there's three little birds beside my doorstep, they're singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. I said I don't worry about a thing, oh, every little thing is alright. Y'all sound so good. I don't worry about a thing, oh, 'cause every little thing is alright. I said I don't worry about a thing, no, 'cause every little thing is alright. Well, I don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is alright. Jazz hands on cue.
Yeah, every little thing is all right. And good morning. My name is Mel Hirsch. I am one of 10 or 11, I can never remember the number, licensed, active professional practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Prescott, Arizona, where we believe that we can change our entire lives just by changing our mind. And I know we all have examples of that in the last 18 or 19 months or so, right? It's been an interesting time, hasn't it? So here at the Center for Spiritual Living, our real purpose is to provide spiritual tools that make our own worlds and to a greater or lesser degree the world out there a better place. That's what we're here for. So wherever you've been, whatever brought you here, whether you're here for the very, very first time, or you've been coming for years, or you came and you left and you went back, just whatever's going on or isn't going on right now, you are so welcome here. Love is spoken here. And it not only is spoken, but we take that speech and move it into action. That's kind of what I believe we're about. And, you know, this isn't a top-down deal. A lot of spiritual and religious organizations, you got the head person at the top, and they're just kind of out there disseminating wisdom and inspiration and all that stuff. And that's all well and good, but it's weller and better when everybody is able to participate in that, because we believe in this teaching that we are human, of course. Most of us are human beings. In other words, we're walking around and we're being. You know, we're doing stuff and we're learning and we're growing and we're making mistakes and a few steps forward, a few steps back. Sound familiar? But we're also inside, there is that thing that when you look at a baby that's about 3 days or 3 weeks old, you just know that there's this incredible light on in there. Somebody's home. And then the teaching starts. And through life, we take a detour or two, make a mistake or two, and then we need to change our thinking because we want to change our lives, and that's what this is about. So you don't have to do it alone. That's what the 10 of us are here for, because we took training lasted anywhere from 2 to 6 years, depends upon where you took it and how well you did, that some board of people who've been around it a long time were willing to say, this person now is somebody that is, for the most part, being an example of living the science of mind, that's living our philosophy. And somebody where I matriculated some almost 40 years ago was that 7 people who comprised the Board of Trustees, not the ecclesiastical side, of those 7 people, 5 of them had to say that they would come to you as a practitioner. And once that happened, that's why it took a couple of people 2.5 years. And I will also tell you it took me 5.5 years because I needed a little more work. And so wherever we are on that continuum, we're here to see who you really are inside. And it's part of that, it's part of the service, and it's a no-charge deal. At the end of the service, if there's something on your heart or on your mind that you would like to have somebody that's really committed to this stuff listen to and remind you of that light that's inside. Anybody wearing a stole will be up here and available to you, and we'd love to spend 3 minutes with you and just do what we call a 3-minute miracle. So take us up on that. And incidentally, science of mind, religious science is not the only game in town. It's not the only game on the planet. We don't have a patent on this growth stuff. And for that reason, for all the time I've been here, we've had a ritual called the honoring of other faith traditions to indicate not only our commonality, but also that which draws us all together. So if our candle lighters will come forward. The Center for Spiritual Living honors all faith traditions. As we light a candle for the world's religions, it's to acknowledge both our multiplicity and our unity.
We light a candle for Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus Christ, who taught the path of love, forgiveness, and healing by the presence within.
For Islam, the practice of submitting to the will of God is revealed to his prophets, peace be upon them, who taught there is one God, creator of the heaven and the earth.
For Judaism, a community of shared laws, traditions, and family ties, which began with the covenant between Abraham and God.
For Buddhism, that middle path of non-attachment that ends suffering.
For Hinduism, the path of knowledge, action, and devotion.
For all the Native American traditions and those who walk the good red road, including and especially the people of the sun, better known here in the Southwest as the Yavapai.
For Baha'i, the path of unity and peace.
For all the goddess traditions, embracing the divine feminine as maiden, mother, crone, or wisdom keeper.
And of course, for the science of mind, which is the philosophy of life that teaches there is a power for good in the universe and we can use it.
Thank you, ladies. And now, there it is on the screen, right on time. So, let us speak our own local affirmation into the universe that it might more clearly set, not only for everyone here, but for those who are listening to us online. We are here for God. Our purpose is to express the nature of God as love, abundance, and joy in everything we do. The good we seek for ourselves is what we desire for all people everywhere. And so it is.
Sing this with me. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. In this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. There's quite enough peace and quite enough power to bear any fear. For spirit, sweet spirit,
is in this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. In this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. There's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through every fear. For Spirit, sweet Spirit, is in this very room. Let's sing this one more time. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. In this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world, and quite enough peace, and quite enough power to drive through every fear. 'Cause Spirit, sweet Spirit, is in this very room, is in this very room, is in this very room.
In this very room and everywhere we are and find ourselves. So now join with me for a few moments of silent meditation as we consider the Spirit that's in this very heart, in this very room. In this moment and in the hours and days ahead, just remember that that peace and that power is always just a breath away. Namaste.
So this is usually where I introduce the soloist and tell you how great they are, because they are. And today, let me introduce you to a great soloist. I've known him a real long time. This is Jackson Roush, everybody. Oh, thank you. You know him. I always like I always like the opportunity when it arises that I get to be the soloist, because I get to play a couple of these songs that I really love. And this first one is by Eddie Watkins. Every morning, the sun keeps getting brighter as I wake up to the truth. And every day, I'm feeling so much lighter, and the world looks fresh and new. What I was taught and the things that I thought stopped serving me long ago. But now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Each day I start anew, and so, well, I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led to such confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led to such confusion. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Every morning brings a new beginning. By grace, another day to be. And I awaken to the sun upon me shining, lighting the way for me to see. Oh, what I thought and the way that I was taught stopped serving me long ago. But now that I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us, of yesterday, and letting go, well, I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led to such confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led to such confusion. Today is the day I walk away. Today is the
day I walk away, 'cause every day I walk away. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jackson. I so appreciate when the regularly scheduled singer. How about I use this one and we'll take down the other one? Good? Yeah. So what I started to say is I'm always grateful when I know Jackson isn't grateful, but I am when the artist has to back out or something happens, because then we get him. And you see what this guy can do in the spur of the moment. Wow, just wow. I've been in the movement a while, and part of what people discovered I was good at, and I discovered it for myself as well, is supporting ministers. Part of it is that I grew up around a ministry where the standards were pretty high. Also, a lot of ministers put a lot of work into me, and I'm grateful for it, so I owe them. So, over time, I came to observe that often the day of a talk, the talk that you wrote, isn't the talk you give. And lo and behold, at about 8 o'clock last night, same deal. So I'm going to just take a few seconds and review the last time I was up here, because there were really just 4 basic points. We have 4 choices, ultimate choices. And that is God or the ego, love or fear, justified or healed, right or happy, right? When you boil it all down, that's what it kind of comes to. And this one was kind of a continuation of, there are only 4 don'ts in the whole wide world. Now that might sound like an interesting idea. Only 4? I don't know about you, but when I was a teenager, I heard 4 an hour. And they are: don't compare, don't project, don't keep score, and don't build a case against yourself or anybody else. Now, you're not going to get those this week, but I'm told that they'll probably let me back. So that's what it'll be this time, because Home Office puts out talk titles that are suggested for every week of the year. And I didn't look at mine all the time I was looking at all of this. And you know what the talk title is for this week? The View from Here. I couldn't put those 2 together. So you get the view from here, and a lot of this is going to be personal opinion and personal experience. And so I invite you to put a mental garbage can by your chair. And anything that comes out of my mouth that just doesn't seem to work for you right now, maybe it will later, maybe never, maybe it never did, or maybe it's just right, who knows? Because we're all on this journey of change. I mean, you want some lively discussions, ask people, what is God? Oh. You want some more lively discussions? Ask people, what is love? And in the kosher tradition that I grew up in, discussions like that were all the time, and they would lead very often to arguments, and then from arguments, maybe even a war, because we were, by our culture, so stuck to our opinions and our experiences, and change was hard. And change really is hard. Give you an example, again, from my own life. Did you ever spill your milk when you were a kid? More than once? Well, don't tell me why or how, but in my family, spilling your milk was the equivalent of a mortal sin. And I was, big boys don't spill their milk. Spill your milk, Bill, pay attention. Spilling your milk, that's bad. Milk's expensive. I don't know. But, I developed this thought about it, and it got planted, I think, somewhere around the age of 4, maybe 3, because we knew language at 3, didn't we? Well, if I spilled my milk 2 months ago at our table in Sedona, inside of me would come up. Anybody here have an experience of a similar thought that was planted way back when? Or maybe even last week? And it comes back up, and there it is. That's what the teaching is about. Change your thinking, change your mind, change your life. However, the other good thing that's going on is over time we had people in our lives that were our teachers, that were our way showers, that parented us for better or for worse based on what they knew, because we all know that young'uns don't come with an instruction manual, and so everybody in many ways was on their own. And most of us that found our way to this particular community in Prescott learned some remarkable skill sets. They developed not only what the jargon calls the world of effects, where you're doing stuff, being a human doing, but we're also talking about a beingness, which is kind of another way of describing spirit. Describing that thing that's inside of us, that when some impossible question comes up in your mind that a child asked you or somebody asked you, and all of a sudden you closed your eyes and you went, oh, what do I, and then the right answer came out. That's spirit. That's something that got planted. And the more we're around this stuff, the more it just shows up. And then we're out there in the world being a human doing. Maybe we're driving somewhere and somebody does something, or we lose it. We just lose it. There are practitioners in this room. And I'm going to, and you guys don't know that I was going to do this. I just thought of it. If you are a practitioner, either current or inactive, or have been a practitioner anywhere else around here, would you just raise your hand for just a minute so people can see how many of us there are? Okay? Now, is there practitioners are also told to be self-honest. Is there anybody here who in the last month or so hasn't been out there in the world and lost it? We need to talk, because I need to work with you. I'm delighted. Please introduce yourself later. We'll get great value for each other. And here's what I want to speak and why I want to bring this home. We can't be in this room and 24/7. Life happens. Reminders happen. So somewhere out there, all of us have found something we can go to, or at least, and I call it spiritual practice, that sooner or later, and really sooner, will get us out of whatever it is that's freaking us out. Something happened around the milk thing. 2 days later, I was with another small group of people here, and somebody, and I noticed they're sitting in this room, came up to me and gave me a little piece of paper with a quote on it from a kid, and that it was, "You know what? We spill our milk." And for whatever reason, from the age of 4, and right now I'm in my 80th year, and I know I don't always look like I'm in my 80th year, and I will tell you that if you're only here for vanity, this stuff youthens you, I promise. We have a number of walking, talking, living, breathing examples of that in this room, and I'm looking at one of them. So if that's all you want, stick around. Anyway, one thing that has worked for me, and I'm going to encourage you, and this is part of my view from here, it's this magazine. When I realized that the talk that I was writing wasn't going to be given, then I said, now what? Because it was less than 12 hours or 24 hours from now, or to now. And I went to something called the plop theory of my go-to thing. Because it's the middle of the night, and I don't call practitioners my colleagues in the middle of the night unless I'm on fire. So I want to read to you the plop theory and we've got Science of Mind magazines in our house that date back about 4, 5, 6 years. And Penny has finally said, are we going to really read all of these again? And we're losing space, so we have to do something with them. I brought a few in. If you want any more, there's usually some out there. If you want any more, I'll bring a carton next week. But what I'm really encouraging you to do is to get a subscription to that magazine, one way or another, or buy it every week, or get to it. Let me tell you what came up. And what I did is I reached into a drawer, I reached down into a pile, pulled something out from the middle of the pile. It was August of 20. Falling down and getting up. When one door closes, another opens. But we so often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the ones which open for us. Alexander Graham Bell. And from Holmes, life will be to you what you are to it. One of the few times that Ernest was simpler and used fewer words than the other person in the quote. So there's a story about a young man who visits a monastery and asks one of the monks what they do all day. And the monk responds, we fall and get up, and fall and get up, fall and get up. It's not how many times you fall that matters, it's how many times you get up. A Zen koan says, and I didn't know, K-O-A-N, you think you know a lot? I did not even see that word until about 6 months ago, or understand it. A Zen koan says, a truly enlightened person falls into a well. How is this so? Over the years, I've had many students offer some fascinating answers to this koan. My own take on it is this. No matter how far along we are in our spiritual path, we all make mistakes. The secret is to continually rise and begin anew. Helps me to remember that Spirit is on my side. There are no hurdles to jump over except the ones I create. Albert Einstein once said, the single most important question we can ask is this a friendly universe? A friendly place? He answered in the affirmative. God only wants good for us. Our job is to turn from whatever we created that causes us pain to that which is whole, perfect, and complete. It's not always easy to do, but it is doable with time, patience, and practice. Today I turn from any situation that causes me discomfort or pain and remember that the Spirit within is always available for guidance and support. I move forward with peace and confidence. That was enough. That was enough for me to remember, and say, God, you got this, because I don't. So, what I'm going to invite you to do and think about for maybe just a moment is that this thing called community that we have was really, really rocking and rolling up to about, 18 months ago when it hit the fan? And all of these changes came about, and suddenly there was this feeling of freedom lost. We had to stay inside, we had to wear masks, we had to vaccinate, not vaccinate. We had to fight. A lot of us had to fight about it. A lot of us said, is it real? People were telling it was, it wasn't. You're gonna die, you're not gonna die, kids don't get it, all that various stuff. And somehow, we most of us were told and kind of knew way down there that this came to pass. It didn't come to stay, but it sure did feel like it isn't passing. When's it gonna pass? Does this thing really have a beginning and a middle and an end? But in fact, we're even worldwide, we are on the downside. We're starting to see, like the phoenix rise through all of that smoke and ash and shake it off and begin to be together again and in community again and to be breaking bread again. Something about this particular community that is where two or more are gathered, we eat. And it just kind of is that way even with families that eat together. Something we've gotten away from, a lot of us, some of it by choice, some by necessity. And Thanksgiving's coming, and I don't know if it was spoken of today, but it was last week. We've decided we're going to do Thanksgiving again. And it's interesting because I'm watching the room fill up a little bit more and more and more every week, and that's cool. But we still have the precautions that we need to deal with. And we still have things that constrain it. We just can't say, oh, it's going to cost us a few $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, whatever. We'll just write a check and it'll be fine. And because the contributions, just haven't kept up, sometimes because people, for very good reason in most cases, and for the fact that people are falling away and coming back. We don't pass a basket anymore, and it's easier to just walk by a box and instead of put something in as the thing goes by. Who knows? But we decided that it was really important to be able to be safe and to feed and to do some kind of a family gathering. And there weren't more than 30 people in the room at that board meeting, maybe 20, 25. A couple of people here know. And so just for the heck of it, we passed the hat. What was it, $430 that came in, something like that? So obviously we need it, and that's sure going to cover dinner for a lot of people. And you guys don't have to we don't have to worry, where's this food been, this kind of thing. That's what we mean by family. That's what we mean by getting together and talking with each other. And also in some of the turmoil we've seen go on around here, we were, at least I was, and other parts of leadership have been mystified by, gee, did we do something wrong? Where were we not maybe fully living up to those 4 values of spiritual growth and love and diversity, inclusivity, and I forgot and joy. That's true, joy. Yeah, that's one of. I'm Mr. Serious and Significant, so I remember joy last, and that's just my stuff. And then, what occurred to me was, we're not talking to each other as much as we used to. We're not connecting with each other energetically as much as we used to. And I'm going to suggest that something that we're going to try and practice literally in this room later today as we come to the end of the service, to bring that back. And when I say talking with each other, it's not intellectual conversation saying this is bad, this is good, having to convince somebody else that this is the one true set of stone tablets out there. Too much of that going on. It's to just have a conversation where we can speak at the heart level rather than at the intellectual level. And I know that used to be happening out in that hall an awful lot before COVID hit, and a little bit less now. And so I'm looking for ideas, a way to have gatherings of us that will allow that to happen. It doesn't have to be led by a minister or a practitioner, just somebody who likes to chat. And there are things like that going on right now. Maybe you guys have heard of the Spiritual Enrichment Group, also known as the Book Club. The Sharers started that, Dave and Sue. Oh, we miss Dave. Everybody misses Dave. And it started out with 5 or 6 or 7 people and reading a book, literally a page at a time, and commenting on it. And it was done out in Sibley Hall. And you know that thing grew to over 30 people in Sibley Hall? 30 people. And then I learned after it had been there about maybe a year at that level, a third of those people didn't even come to the church on Sunday. They were there for the conversation, for the chat, for the expansion, for the uplifting, to have a statement and then have how various people were interpreting it and saying, boy, I could use that. It doesn't work for me, but boy, I can sure use that. There's something else going on right now. And that is, and I forgot what the name is. Help me with this, Chris, the circle. Science of Mind what, please? Oh, yeah, the Science of Mind magazine study. Okay, okay, and that was only done online. Chris, would you stand up, please? I just want people to look at you and see who you are. Chris is also on our board of trustees. And she's been doing this now for 6 or 7 or 8 months. And what I have noticed, and we had a conversation about it a few weeks ago, this has become a group of people that are 5 or 6 or 7 deep, and they're looking forward to it. And then people drop in, they drop out, whatever. But all of a sudden, these people are getting to know each other that would not have gotten to know each other otherwise. And so, getting back to the spiritual enrichment group, leadership went to Dave and Sue and said, well, you know, when a group gets to be above 10 or 12 or so, it's time to kind of split it off and start another one at another time. And they looked and said, no, no, we like this too much. We are enjoying being around the 30 of us too much. And so leadership said, okay, it's yours. Obviously it's working. So size isn't the issue here. It's that people are getting together. What I envision, I'm going to use the word politics. There is over in Sedona, the people all the offices there are nonpartisan. They may be Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and that all has different philosophy attached to it. The town itself is fairly divided with opinions, and they will have, because I live in Sedona, we will have strong opinions over everything. What color the grass should be. When we put lights in for the dark skies, a third of the people said, we don't want lights in here, we like our dark skies. A third of the people said, yeah, but people are getting killed. Yeah, but are locals getting killed? No. We actually heard that argument. Well, then the lights went in. And I have a business in Sedona where if I took a position on those lights in any way, shape, or form, I would have lost 20 to 30% of my customers. That's how strongly it is. There's something wrong with that. So there's a psychologist over there who his mission is to get people talking. And he has. And things have shifted. And am I happy? So I'm looking at the clock. I'm also looking at somebody with a hook. So I'm going to tell you about what an example of living this stuff is going to be in terms of a prayer, normally at the end of a talk, and this is a good place to stop. I would be going into prayer, and then we're going to be going into the next phase of what we do. And as I was looking around, Tracy Brown, who is she's a practitioner of many years standing. She also led our retreat for the practitioners last year. And she posted a prayer on Thursday night or Friday. And that prayer seemed to me to be so apropos of what we're about or becoming that I asked that it be turned into a slide, and I'm going to read it, and you can read it along with me. And then I will end with a very short declaration, and then we'll move into the next phase. So, I don't appear, I did this last time. There we are. I want to be sure that it's up there. Okay. Say this with me if you care to. There is one reality. It is life itself, birthing love, beauty, joy, and peace in all it creates. I am an example of this one reality. My life is love, beauty, joy, and peace. I speak this word knowing my understanding of this truth is just the first step. The proof of this truth is in my words and actions. The evidence of this truth is in my daily experiences. The demonstration of these qualities validates spirits present in physical form as me. I'm grateful to be spiritual realization. I'm grateful to see beyond intellectual persuasion. I'm grateful to be an example of what's possible. So I'm planting my belief in the soil of goodness and letting it grow. I am spiritual law and action, and I declare we are, each and every one of us in this very room, where the power of love always supersedes the love of power. We are examples of what is possible, and each of us will remember by the close of this day some specific example of an expertise, of spirit working through us, that we may do some part to make a difference. You'll see a quote at the bottom. One person can make a difference, and everyone should try. John F. Kennedy. For that reality of your life, my life, the life of this center, and for each one of us that has any investment whatever in it, I simply release these words into God's universe and spiritual law. Relax, knowing that it is indeed a work in process that can only lead even closer to that global vision of a world that works for everyone. My word never returns to me void, and so I can look forward to the examples even as they unfold from this moment forward, while we lift ourselves up out of the ashes, shake off the smoke and ash, and live like we have never lived in the last several years. Thank you, life. Thank you, God. And so it is. Whew. Who's your hand?
Well, we let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let
Please be seated. This is a time when we speak of our tithes and offerings. In an earlier life, I was a vendor to a number of congregations, different faiths, of audio and video and television equipment. I grew up in that industry. And one of my customers was a very well-off parish in Malibu, California. Now, those of you who know about Southern California, if you live in Malibu, you're well off, exceedingly well off. And people all over the world know a number of your, of your names. And as we were doing some work there, I got to one of the leaders, who was also a next-door neighbor. And I was watching, while we were doing our job, which lasted about 2 weeks or so, that there was this very famous person dressed in jeans and t-shirts and shoveling stuff. And I happened to know that this was somebody that was really prominent. And I was impressed because, well, boy, those people do that. Well, as it turns out, it was part of what it was to be a member there. They knew the term, you give of your time, your talent, and your treasure. Well, around there, treasure was easy because everybody had treasure. But if you're not giving of your time and your talent and your treasure. Now, it's a three-legged stool, so not everybody is going to be able to do the same level of all of those three. But the important thing that I learned from that is that we do some from all. Otherwise, when you sit on that three-legged stool, if one of those legs is super short, over it goes. So I'm asking you to think about that and consider it when you write a check or you do some kind of an offering. Service is not sacrifice. And Lordy, we don't want your rent money. If this is meaningful to you, then put something into all three levels. And this may not be your week or even your month to give. You may have it in some automatic form. That's all well and good. And what I ask you to do now as we say this sharing affirmation is put your hand over your heart and repeat after me. And it should be up there. Divine love in and through me blesses all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, life. And thank our guest soloists for already being back up there.
This is a Daniel Namod song, and if you don't know Daniel Namod's music, I recommend it. Well, I've seen my share of struggle when I thought that I knew best, when I sailed through a storm instead of stopping to rest. And it always seems the hardest when I made up my stubborn mind, when I'm changing my ways this time. Gonna be like water coming down the mountain in the shadow canyon, coming from port to stream. Wanna be like water, head up the hill no more. I'm bound for the stream. Oh, have you ever seen an eagle stand up in the wind? He doesn't take a fight, spreads his wings and just gives in. And then he always seems to make it home just fine. I guess he knows every storm subsides.
this river's meant to go. Well, I've railed against the stars for all the cards that I've been dealt, for the lottery that I never won and the heartache that I felt. But it always seems when I let go of expectation and regret, well, life has plenty of surprises for me yet. Like water coming down the mountain in the shadow canyon, flow from port to stream. And be like water, head up the hill no more. I am bound. I said I am bound. I am bound for the sea.
Okay, I see children. I see the light, the way it's coming through. They're in shadow. Are the children here? Come on down. And some children are bigger than others.
Okay, so today we talked about like each other's point of view and how it's like different, and here's like an affirmation about that. It's, I lift my eyes to the highest and grandest view of life.
Wow. Wow, if only we had had the benefit of that then. Well, we're catching up. We're catching up to the kids. I like that idea. Okay, it's the first Sunday of the month. That makes it Birthday Sunday. If you have a birthday anytime this month, we would care to do two things for you. One, offer you a full-out practitioner session with any of the practitioners of your choice, and all of their names and numbers John has there on that bookmark, and he will run around the room and hand those out so you can call whoever you wish. And also, we're going to ask you to take a look over at the bookstore and see if there's anything in the used book section that you might want to just take home as our gift and peruse. So, if your birthday is in the month of November, would you care to stand and let us acknowledge you by singing Happy Birthday? Yesterday. 1, 2. Okay. Jackson, you want to get us rolling?
Let's do it.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Loved one.
happy birthday to you.
Now, if we have any visitors here for the first time, or if you've been away for a while and you're coming back, if you would care to stand and introduce yourself, just tell us who you are and where you're from, and nobody's allowed to nudge and push you there, only if you're comfortable doing that. And sir, let's start with you. Well, terrific. Welcome, Dustin. And directly behind you is, yeah, Oh, welcome. Welcome. Janet, your name's very familiar, and I think I know why. Yeah, I do remember. I do. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Welcome back. It is a joy to see you. Yes? Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Mike. I'm originally from New Jersey. I moved here and currently living with my brother in Chino Valley.
In Chino? Okay, so welcome. We have a packet of information from you, and once again, go over to the used bookstore section, look around, and take one home as our gift, please. One more? I'm so sorry. The light. Oh. Wow.
And I've been here many times over many years, and then I was drafted to play church organist up at the Catholic Church in Chino.
Yeah.
That kept me busy for a long time. Now I'm fully retired, and this is my home. So
May I know your name? May we know your name?
I'm Andrea Sexton.
Hi, Andrea. Welcome back. I love that story. Okay. Very good. It is time for us to sing our way out of here. Had a little exercise plan, but I don't want to take us too far over time. So, grab a hand only if you're comfortable to do that. And we will do our benediction and sing our way out with a peace song. You ready? Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is happening through my mind, my body, and my affairs. I think it, I believe it, I feel it, I know it, I accept it. Thank you, life.